Hello there guys, this is Angus Cal for the Rock Lombacks, and oh wow, yeah, like this is a reaction to the SpongeBob movie. I just came home from the theater a few minutes ago, and I'm just gonna talk about it. As you all probably, if you don't know, I do this thing called Nostalgiathon, which I'm doing again this year back in this March. But Nostalgiathon is basically me looking back at my childhood, and one of the movies was, well, the SpongeBob SquarePants movie. I can't call it the SpongeBob movie because this one's called. But the SpongeBob SquarePants movie is a very good movie. It's probably due to nostalgia blinding me, but you know, whatever. I'll just watch that review. I'll link it below or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I saw it today at a 2D showing at 4 o'clock. Yeah, wasn't busy, surprisingly. Well, I thought because you know it's the first day it came out as a kids movie. But the weird thing is though, I was the only 13-year-old there. I tried to invite my friends, but one of my friends was like, "Oh, that's a movie for 9-year-olds," and the rest just didn't want to go, want to play games. Anyway, if you know who you are, then yeah. Yeah. So the SpongeBob movie. Yeah. So I saw it today. You know. Okay. I'm not using the script or anything, so I'm just doing this. Yeah. So, what are my thoughts on it? It's good. It's kind of what I kind of expected, because I didn't know what the hell I was expecting, because you know, the trailer made it look good, but as we all know, trailers make things look good. Anyway, yeah. So the trailer that was released at the same time that was at Comic-Con, because it was at the Paramount thing. Made it look really good. They showed more of the 3D than the 2D, because we kind of knew that it might have been 2D, but yeah, but first thing off the bat, if you're this has spoilers, because the title's gonna say a little bit of spoilers or whatever. Anyway, so there's no need to really worry, because this film does have 2D animation. Okay, it's not all 3D. It's not little bits of it. Actually, a majority of the film, I would say 75 to 80% of it is 2D. So don't fear about it not being, you know, 2D. But yeah. Well, that's relief if you liked, you know, 2D animation. You like this. Actually, the animation. Speaking of the animation, it's really well done. Yeah, I'm not one to complain, because you know I like the first season of The Simpsons, and you know badly animated shows, because you know because there's a bit of charm to it, but it looks better than what the TV show does. I have a comic strip and stuff, so I know a little bit about cartooning. So yeah. Yeah. So basically, the movie's about SpongeBob and Patrick. Okay. Yeah. The plot synopsis is pretty much this will have some spoilers, but also. Yeah, I'm not doing this off a script. Okay. So basically, the movie's about SpongeBob. Well, it starts off as a normal. Actually, the film starts off like the first movie with a live-action sequence, and the villain of the movie, Antonio Banderas, who's a pirate. He's a pirate, and he goes to this island where the Skull Guy. He's trying to get the Krabby Patty formula, and there's this book there. And he basically takes the book, and then he's flung back to his ship. And then the sequels are "Tell us the story, SpongeBob." Then he's okay. Then he opens the book and he explains. Basically, it goes down to Bikini Bottom, and it shows SpongeBob preparing to fight off against Plankton. And this movie, from my knowledge, has no connection to of the first movie, which actually would have made it better, but you know, I can understand, because you know, this is for a new generation, not my generation. So what ends up happening is basically Plankton attacks the Krusty Krab, then he Plankton attacks the Krusty Krab, and basically he tries to steal the Krabby Patty formula, and he nearly gets it, but then it disappears. So SpongeBob and Plankton are trying to then an angry mob forms, basically, because they didn't get the formula, and So like SpongeBob and Plankton, they want to team up together to actually get the Krabby Patty formula. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not a very complex plot, but yeah, just all. Yeah. So basically, the whole movie is about them, going back and forth, and this is when the spoilers happen. So basically, throughout the movie, they're trying to they want to build a time machine because like they figure if they go back in time and tell like the Plankton SpongeBob about like what's gonna happen. No. It's like they want to tell Plankton and SpongeBob about like the ones that were there like when it was getting taken, so like they could take the right one and restore things back to the way they were. So like they build a time machine, and Karen's like the main like thing behind it. It's like she's the computing system, and Patrick SpongeBob and Plankton, they hide out in an obvious Taco Bell place, but because restaurant. So they build the time machine. Then they meet this dolphin god of space. Then they're like, we need your help. And then the dolphin goes into the bathroom. Then they're looking outside. And then like Saturn and Jupiter crash into each other, which is pretty funny. And then they come back, and then the dolphin god's like, "Arr!" So like then they hop back in their time machine. So they hop back in their time machine. They go back to like then they take the Krabby Patty formula from like themselves. So like then they go back and they try to pull it out, and they give it to Mr. Krabs. And actually, one more thing. I think before that they actually I think there's a Pharrell Williams, and if you don't know who he is, he's the guy who composed the song Happy from Despicable Me 2. Yes. Like there's this like the parody 2001 Space Odyssey where it's like slit scan, then like things are going like that like when they're time traveling, which is actually like a film nerd like me and a 13-year-old who went to this theater by himself with no friends or anything. Anyway. So like they go back, and Mr. Krabs is like, oh, the dystopian future, because it's like Mad Max style dystopian future, and they pull it out of the bottle, and then they show it. Then it's like the one that Plankton drew. Then like Mr. Krabs is like angry. Then Patrick accidentally goes in there. Then they bring back a prehistoric dinosaur-looking Squidward that attacks them. But then they smell the Krabby Patty. So SpongeBob, he gears up and basically goes off to like the surface, and then like the other characters follow, and they stop. Then they stop. Well, then they go up and they fight Antonio Banderas. But first they're like the CG interacting with the humans now. Like I said before, it's mostly 2D, but it is still like 20% 3D animation. But unlike a movie like I'm sorry, just have to cough. Like a movie like Alvin and the Chipmunks, or that's like the one that I think of. Like the CG, like the Smurfs also. Like this is actually better because it's not just them reacting. It's kind of because it's written in the same way as SpongeBob, so it feels better, and it's not jarring because like you think that 2D to 3D is jarring, but it's really not that jarring. But what ends up happening is basically like they try to stop them. Then he realizes that it's like him. Then like Antonio writes in the book about going to send them to Pelican Island, which is this like island with like spikes on the bottom. So basically they have to try. Then they realize they have a piece of paper. Then it's like when they find a piece of paper that's Plankton. I think Plankton. He keeps, and then he goes and he puts it down, and then like they grab a feather off of a pelican. like then they use Squidward's ink when he squirts himself because he's nervous. Like he squirts ink. Then they write. Then they get superpowers. Then basically it's like kind of like a superhero movie where they're trying to stop him. They stop him, and then everything's kind of back to normal. Plankton tries to steal it again. Trying to bring it back to normal. And yeah. That was a plot synopsis. And like it's not very complex the way like I described it. What I meant to say was like that was kind of like a brief plot synopsis. There's more that goes on. That's like the normal beat of the movie because I just saw it and I don't have like everything still in my head. But now the main thing is the comedy. How is it funny? The thing is, it does feel like old SpongeBob. That's one thing that's actually really good about it is it feels like good old season 1 through 3 SpongeBob and like I watched the SpongeBob, like the first SpongeBob movie and the episodes before seeing this, and there are some slight differences. Don't get me wrong. I mean, some of the humor is a more akin to now than 10 years ago. But like what I meant by humor is like at the end of the movie, technically like the seagulls and the Antonio Banderas is turned into like the person goes, "Are you ready, kids?" I Captain, like the SpongeBob theme song. Then they enter like a rap battle, which I actually found that kind of funny because I'm not one for temporary references like that much. But if it's funny like it, you don't have to know like rap battles to find it funny. And I mean, yeah. Well, like also what ends up happening throughout the movie is like, well, how like most kids movies now, there's usually like a gross out joke. There's a few butts and underwear. Like the first movie, there's like Squidward inking himself, and yeah, there's stuff like that. So it's definitely it's still kind of that traditional kids movie with fart jokes and like a sort of gross out. They do have occasional gross out, but it's not really gross out. So yeah. But I think in general the comedy is very good. I think it's just like I think it's more funny for like someone like me who grew up on old SpongeBob, but music, the score was nice. John Denby, I don't know what he really composed, but I think he composed the Iron Man 2 soundtrack, and the music was pretty good. Pop music wise, the trailer had "Welcome to the Jungle," and in the movie I didn't even have it even in the credits. But I will have to give them the benefit of the doubt because I would have made it like a little bit better. I mean, I'm not the biggest Guns N' Roses fan, but I like "Welcome to the Jungle." Well, they use Pharrell Williams songs like that he made for this movie, and the funny thing is they actually reference Pharrell Williams in the movie because Pearl, like, end credit spoiler, all the characters are like walking by at the bottom of the screen. Then Pearl says, "Oh, this is so last year," which is referencing Despicable Me 2 with Happy. Yeah, so I mean, the movie, it's kind of what I expected it to be because the first film I have a nostalgia bias towards it, so I will always kind of find it better because nostalgia is a very powerful thing. Makes one man weep and another man sing. That was a Power Love reference. A random. Speaking of that, Thomas F. Wilson, who voiced some of the characters in SpongeBob, a guy who played Biff. He actually made a cameo that I didn't even realize. But yeah, I mean, the movie overall was pretty good. I mean, it was good. It wasn't great, but I kind of expected that. But it's a SpongeBob movie. If you like SpongeBob, old SpongeBob, new SpongeBob, if you just like, you should definitely see this, and yeah, you should definitely see it. There's nothing really else right now. There's Jupiter Ascending, and I think that's really about it. I think that's like the only one that's really comes to mind right now. You have your Oscar movies like American Sniper, blah blah blah, but this is a fun time. Kids will like it. you'll probably I'll probably enjoy it. The trailers I saw before this movie, Inside Out, which actually looks really interesting. It's like a film about emotions, the Minions movie. Like, I'm not a big Despicable Me fan, guys. Like Universal, my mom wanted to go on the Minion ride, so I ditched her and went off and bought a Back to the Future T-shirt because yeah. But I mean, I think like there was also Charlie Brown, the Peanuts movie, which looks good too. There's a Pan movie by Joe Wright, who I think is Edgar Wright's brother. The director of Scott Pilgrim versus the World and Hot Fuzz, blah blah. That guy's brother, and I really do like Scott Pilgrim. It's one of my favorite movies. But yeah, like that looks just kind of generic and like what's the whole point of rebooting Peter Pan? Blah blah blah. Anyway, but yeah, I mean that's really all I really have to say. I know this has kind of been a thing where like I haven't planned it out, but you know. But anyway, this is Calvin, I'm signing out. Watch movies and game on.